I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I could pay that one. You remember say me I tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time? Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Good day, viewers, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of Corruption Must Go, ICPC's weekly television program. I am Hawa Garba. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, was set up in 2000 by the Chief Olusegun Obasanjo-led administration to tackle corruption in Nigeria, following an unprecedented rating of the country as one of the most corrupt in the world by Transparency International at that time. The rating by TI cast a negative shadow on the image of the country in the Committee of Nations. In addition, visible negative indices of corruption such as debt of social infrastructure, poor health and educational services, as well as a struggling economy were on display. The intent of the government was to have an agency that would tackle corruption head-on and reduce its destructive effects to the barest minimum. The commission took off in earnest, given the magnitude of its mandate and the urgency needed to rid Nigeria of corruption, and notable progress has been recorded so far. For instance, in 2017 alone, a total of 54 cases were filed in different courts across the nation against persons alleged to have breached the anti-corruption laws. 15 convictions were secured in the same year, with various jail terms handed over to the convicts. One of them is the case involving 3 staff of the Tai Sholarin College of Education. Also on the program today, we will bring you drama, ethics and values, and many more. But first, Ruth Awodi is standing by with anti-corruption stories.
Welcome to this segment. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, sitting in Apo, Abuja, has sentenced a senior staff of the University of Ibadan, Mr. Adedeji Taiwo, to 3 years, 6 months imprisonment for forging the signature of the former Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, NUC, Professor Julius Okoje. Taiwo was arraigned in July 2016 before Justice Olukayode Adeniyi by ICPC on a 4-count charge of forgery and making false statements to constituted authority, as well as using his position to confer unfair advantage on himself. The commission accused Taiwo, who was a principal executive officer, passage and protocol of the University of Ibadan, of presenting a forged letter purportedly from NUC to Ministry of Foreign Affairs Abuja with intent to facilitate the approval of a note verbal, which is an unsigned diplomatic note of the nature of a memorandum written in the third person for one Mr. Lukman Jegede Adeyemi, who was not a staff of the University of Ibadan, to enable him attend a conference at the National University of Seoul, South Korea. The trial judge found the accused guilty of the charge and sentenced him to 3.5 years in jail or pay a fine of 300,000 naira. The Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit Act 2 of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, has been inaugurated by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC.
I, do solemnly swear, affirm, that as a member of the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit,
of the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit,
Act 2
of Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation,
will display high levels of personal integrity and accountability in all my undertakings, that I will, to the best of my ability, take necessary lawful steps to curb corrupt practices and mobilize others to join the crusade against corruption. So help me God.
Mr. Justin Kwatse, who represented the commission during the inauguration, which took place at the NDIC headquarters in Abuja, urged the newly inaugurated members to carry out their assignments diligently and continue to assist ICPC and the corporation in the fight against corruption.
The Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit, which was created in the year 2001 in collaboration with the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, has the responsibility to curb corrupt practices in all government establishments. The unit also serves as an internal check mechanism aimed at identifying lapses or omissions in operations and establishing processes that are transparent and free from unethical practices. This unit is not new in the corporation here, that's the NDIC. And for that reason, I urge the members to continue to assist the ICPC and the corporation itself in fighting corrupt practices as they have always done, and as outlined in the enabling standing order for the operations of the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit.
He further advised the members not to use their position as a tool to witch hunt or victimize members of staff. Rather, they should work hard to gain the support of both management and staff in order to achieve positive results and justify the trust reposed in them. The Managing Director NDIC, Alhaji Umaru Ibrahim, FCIB, MNI, assured ICPC of the corporation's continuous support in the effort to rid the country of corruption, especially in the financial sector.
You've heard from the convener, so to say, of this gathering, that is the Director of Audit himself. And as such, I do not have much to say, but to assure you that we will continue to support the efforts of ICPC in getting rid of corruption in all its ramifications in the public service. As standard setters, as regulators and supervisors of the banking system, it is of course very much expected of us to uphold the principles of ethics and accountability and to shun corruption.
Alhaji Ibrahim also pledged his support to the Act 2 unit, saying it would be allowed to operate without interference. In her acceptance speech, the Act 2 chairperson, on behalf of the other members, pledged to display high level of integrity in the performance of their duties. That will be all on this segment. Corruption Must Go continues.
Corruption not in my country.
So, now, straight to business. Now, that case between State versus Femi Wole.
Femi Wole?
Yes.
Is he your son?
That's my apparent.
Did he actually kill the wife?
His juvenile delinquency, they must have taken some few bottles.
A man of 40. Juvenile delinquent?
Now, what do we do? I don't want him to go to jail.
We are very good friends. But for this, I cannot help you.
You know I was so nice to you in school. I took care of you.
I'll politely leave.
No, you can't leave. How much do you want me to pay?
Wale, this is not about money. It's about the law. Bribing a judge to subvert the cause of justice is corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
If you are just tuning in, this is Corruption Must Go. We spoke to Inosai Omogibo, the lawyer who handled the case involving Mr. Samuel Adeyemi, Mr. Amoludun Tosin, and Mrs. Temilade, three staff of Tai Solarin College of Education, that bagged 15 years imprisonment for embezzling 6.6 million naira belonging to the non-academic staff union of the school. This is what he had to say.
The name of the matter really is Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Samuel Alaba Adeyemi and two others. It was prosecuted in the High Court in Ogun State. Now the story behind the matter that these three individuals were actually staff of Tai Solari College of Education. So that brought them under the provision of our act as public officers. But beyond that, they also were executives of the non-academic staff union of the college. So they contested that position and they were elected into office. So one was the president, the other one the acting secretary, and one the treasurer. Now what happened was that they approached the commercial bank to get some loan from them. And the loan was to be distributed to members of the union. So before ever the processes of the loan was completed, they had gotten a list of all those interested in the loan, how much they would want to get of the loan, and they computed all this together and they arrived at some 6 million or thereabouts. Now the bank demanded that before the loan would be released to them, they would need the college to guarantee the loan, kind of. So as part of what they were supposed to provide would be the list of those who applied for the loan, the amount verified by the college. Now the reason for this verification, why it was requested, is such that somebody who is financially incapable of paying back the loan would not be included in the payment of the loan. So all that they did, and the school actually guaranteed them. Now there were also conditions attached for the drawdown of the loan when they eventually get such loan. One of the conditions is that each drawdown would be authenticated by the registrar and the provost of the college before they take to the bank and release money. And another condition was that no member would be entitled to that loan. But as soon as the loan was released, they came back as executive of the union, readjusted everything. Some of them who applied for the loan increased the amount they originally had applied for, that had been cleared by the college. And then there was somebody who was not a member of the union at all who got, and another member of the executive who did not apply at all for the loan got. So at the end of the day, the 6 million naira could not go around all the union members that applied, and then there was chaos in the school. So it was at that point that somebody sent in a petition to the ICPC. The ICPC investigated and they found all those allegations established. So a matter was filed, it went to court. The matter was filed around 2010 and judgment was given in 2017. Yes, they were tried under Section 19 majorly. Yes, it had to do with using their positions now to confer corrupt advantage or unfair advantage upon themselves and upon those who were not members of the union. So that was what they were tried for. Well, after a long trial, with so many things happening in between, we got to the point of judgment. After the final addresses and our submissions, the court, in a well-considered judgment, agreed with the prosecuting team that they had run foul of the provisions of Section 19 of the ICPC Act. So for the counts brought against them, they were all convicted of the counts. Yes. And for each of the counts, they were sentenced to 5 years imprisonment without option of fine. But the counts were to run concurrently for all of them. So instead of having like 10, 15 years in jail for the number of counts, they had to have 5 years because they had to run concurrently without an option of a fine. Fine. Before I talk about the lessons, let me briefly talk about some of the things that happened in between. Of course, this is in aid of the lessons that we learn. One of them is that within the course of trial, one of them did not have a lawyer, or he was changing lawyer from time to time, and that was delaying the trial. On one occasion, the God got infuriated, revoked his bail, and sent him to prison, with the threat that he will complete the trial from prison. So this was a lot of discomfort for him, a family man. That's one. Within the course of the trial, the third accused person was a woman, was pregnant when the trial commenced. She gave birth within that period. And you could know, as a woman, I mean, women always know the kind of discomfort they would suffer when somebody is heavy with pregnancy and stand the trial. And then finally, they were suspended within that period. So no pay coming in for themselves and their families. So why I highlighted it is to show the kind of things that people could suffer, because the entire trial was against impunity, really. People should learn not to do things, their own way. They should learn to follow the laws as stated down. And if they are in doubt, they should ask questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? The fact that some persons have done it in the past and gotten away with it does not always mean that you will do it and get away with it. So it's a fine lesson for all of us Nigerians that we should not do things with impunity.
They say every day is for the thief, one day for the owner of the house. But ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, has reversed the role. It is now every day for the owner of the house. If you're involved in bribery, over-invoicing, or any shady deal, the day of reckoning has come. ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, is watching you. If you're reported for any corrupt practice, you'll be investigated, prosecuted, and punished. Corruption is harmful to our nation. Join the campaign against it by reporting any corrupt practice to ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Let's we join hands with ICPC, make them better. Let's make Nigeria great again. ICPC, they want you. I want hand for corruption.
Break the chain of corruption now. Don't give, don't take. This message is brought to you by ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Corruption not in my country.
Madam, no. These drugs are very scarce, so we don't have them here. Go to the next building. There's a paying pharmacy there. You buy it from there.
The drugs I have on my list of prescription is what I am seeing here.
Do you know if the packets are empty or they are expired? I mean, go and buy drugs from the next pharmacy. You're here telling me my own job. Rubbish.
Tell me another lie, because I was here yesterday when this new set of drugs were delivered here.
Don't see the drugs, oh. I didn't know I was on leave yesterday. Why you not tell me say that good for nothing, prognosing doctor? Now you said you come here.
Hey, I heard that. Do you know how many lives you will save by giving out those drugs? Or do you know how many lives you are killing by hoarding those same drugs? You are the same set of people saying that government is corrupt. Government is corrupt. Now you are at your duty post. Are you not corrupt? You are sacked. Yes, because that is corruption. Not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
All the convicts discussed abused their office and betrayed the trust placed on them by the public to commit fraud, believing they would escape the long arms of the law. ICPC believes that the conviction should not only serve as punishment to the convicts, but also as deterrence to other Nigerians who might want to toe a similar line. Nigerians are expected to draw lessons from these convictions by upholding the ideals of integrity, transparency, and honesty. We hope to bring you more of such convictions in future editions. Join ICPC in the fight against corruption. Visit our website www.icpc.gov.ng to make your reports, inquiries, and suggestions. You can also reach us via our toll-free numbers as shown on the screen. Thank you for watching. See you again same time next week. Bye for now.